In Excel, you refer to everything by a cell reference, A1, B7, D29. There's a useful tool built into Excel called the name range. This is where you can name a part of the sheet. For example, if I highlight these cells here, I can actually give these a name. If I highlight these cells here, I can give those a different name. And in future, you can refer to parts of the sheet by its name rather than trying to remember the cell reference. As an example, let's say we always do work with these income figures here. Now we may want to create a chart or use those in a calculation. Wherever we are in this workbook, we may always have to refer back to these numbers here. Now, rather than me trying to remember which sheet it's on, and also the fact it covers B6 to E9, it would be much better if I could give that an alias, give it a name. And this is where the named range comes in. It's very simple. Once you highlight the area of the sheet that you want to give a name to, if you then refer to the top of the sheet, just to the left of your formula bar, which is here, you'll notice if I hover over this area, it says name box. At the moment it's got B6, which is my starting cell. To give it a name, I just click my left mouse button in there. It will highlight what's in there at the moment, and I can just overtype it with a new name. So I could call this area that I've got highlighted, for example, income. You then press the enter key or return key. That's now given that area of the sheet a name. We could do another one, for example, this area down here that contains all of our cost prices. Once again, I highlight the area, I move up into my name box, click and type the name that I want. Costs. Don't forget to press enter. If you don't press enter, it won't remember the name. Now that brings us on to the names you can give these. You can call these almost anything. There's a couple of restrictions. You can't begin a name with a number. So for example, if I highlighted these numbers down here and called it regular outgoings, when I enter, I get a message coming up saying it's an invalid name, and the reason being is because I typed it with a space. So although you can give a range name almost any name, it cannot have a space in that name. If I attempt to call this outgoings, but I put a number in front, 1, 2, 3 outgoings, when I attempt to enter that, again I get this warning box telling me that it's an invalid name, and that's because I started the name with a number. You can't begin any name with a number. You can have a number at the end of the name. They are not case sensitive. So for example, the word income in capitals is the same as the word income in lowercase or with a capital first letter. So they're not case sensitive when you either create them or when you come to use them later. Now, if you want to check on the named ranges, you can click on the combo box for the name box, and it drops down a list of any names that you've created in the past. If I've forgotten what they refer to, I can just simply click on one of the names in the list, and it will highlight the area that that is associated with. Using range names is very quick and simple. For example, say I wanted to add up all of these income figures, and I could be either on this sheet or any other sheet in the book. If I click on this cell here, if I put in an auto sum, you can use the keyboard shortcut, which is the Alt and equals key. Now it's asking which area do you want to sum up. Now within those brackets I can simply type the name that I gave all of my income figures, which was the word income, and there you can see it picks it up. I can press enter and it's added up all of those numbers. If you need to make any changes to a range name, such as delete it or edit the area that it refers to, or maybe you misspelt the name when you were setting it up, or you want to give it a different name entirely, you can't do any editing from this drop down. This is for viewing only. If I need to make changes, I need to go to my formulas ribbon, and in the middle of that ribbon is a large button called Name Manager. I can click on that and it displays any named ranges I may have created. You'll see the list here. You'll notice I can select one and I can either delete it or I can edit the named range. You can also do changes down the bottom here where it tells you what it refers to. So I could change the region that it refers to. If I want to change the name, I can click on the edit button and give it a different name, or delete it. One powerful feature of range naming is that you can name multiple cells. So if I wanted to name not only these cells here, but I wanted to name some non-contiguous cells that are not next to each other, I could hold down the control key on my keyboard, highlight these. With my control key remaining down, I could highlight these, and I could give this a single name that refers to those three areas. And that's named ranges.